Hello and welcome to my studio. Today's lesson I will be teaching the application to an outside block. For those that don't know, an outside block works like this, whether you're going in reverse or going forward. It's usually followed with a double punch. So if you're stepping forward to an outside block, punch, punch. Now demonstrating it through what you'd see in basic martial arts, as your opponent comes to strike you, you would block from here and then punch, punch. That's okay when you're learning basics, but later on when you want to apply the application, if he comes to punch, and I come from here, that punch is coming, and we're both going to be hitting each other simultaneously. So I prefer not to go that route. So what we'd like to do is the next step up from the basics of understanding the application to the outside block is, as he comes to strike, when I do my outside block, I'm standing to the outside of him and then coming in for a strike to strike. From the other side again, from here, strike, strike, in this position here. Now, even that, the reality of the person still standing for that is less than likely. Because when people do come to punch you, their bodies rotate into a secondary punch. So by the time you pull off this one block and go to punch, he's already turning into you. So what we like to do is utilize our body movement through this block rather than just our arm movement. So to demonstrate this, we'll get a stick. So here if I'm in a position where I'm doing outside block, so even if he is punched, because normally the punch is coming from this distance. So here the punch isn't even coming from this, it's pretty much on me. So as this punch comes through me, I move in this position. So it's not that I'm blocking to punch, I'm moving here. So when the punch comes, and I move in this position, and from the other side, it's the same thing. If I'm here, when the punch comes, I'm moving here. Even if it's right here. Like let's say the guy was this close and came to punch me, I'd move here. So my body is actually turning, using a circular motion, redirecting in case my hand's not fast enough and somebody comes to hit me, at least my body's going with it and sort of redirecting the punch. Now the good thing about this, get rid of the stick and I'll just edit that and keep that going. Now the good thing about this is if my opponent comes to punch me and I come in this position here, that same circular motion that I use to circle around, moving even from here, if this punch is coming through me, I'm moving in this position. That same movement that I have, so my hand goes with my body. My body stays here and my body is actually doing the block. And as my body does the block, it allows me to strike my opponent. So from the other side, if he's coming to punch me and I come to strike him, I can come to strike him from this position. Now looking at this, like on the last class I taught, we're going to look at an application from there. So as my opponent comes to strike me, and I come to strike him, one, and then two, I can then come back into an armbar again. Or from the same side again, as my opponent comes to punch me, I come to strike him, one, two, I can pop his arm this way, I can come back to pop him this way. There's a number of things you can do, but we're not really worried about that. I just want the proper application to the block. From the other side, as he comes to punch me, I come blocking, striking him. If I come up to here, like I just demonstrated from the other side, that takes care of it. If he comes to punch me and I'm blocking, coming to strike him, I can continue striking him and do other techniques where I can take my opponent out, which is just demonstrating more application. The main point here is when he comes to strike, that you move, your movement is moving about outside and around. So even if your opponent was this close when he came to punch you, you're still allowed to block it, because you wouldn't have a chance to block it this way. And if you do, this is one movement, then your body would have to recoil to another movement, Here, your strike becomes your block. So when he comes to punch, my strike is my block in this position. And you can see I'm taking out his leg simultaneously here. If I wanted to come back here to give him a clothesline and take him back like Osoto Gary, I can do it. There's a number of techniques I can do, but we're not concerned about those right now. I just want to say that there's more applications. Okay, that's it for today's class. If you click like on the right hand side or subscribe to my video, it would be great. Thank you.